After 43 years, Candlestick Park is just a memory. And 38 miles to the south, you're looking at Levi Stadium, the first regular season game to be played here tonight.
Jay Cutler, Vanderbilt University.
Matt Forte, Tulane.
Brandon Marshall, Central Florida. Alshon Jeffrey, South Carolina.
Santonio Holmes, The Ohio State University.
Martellus Bennett, Texas A&M.
Jamon Bushra, Towson University.
Michael Ola, Hampton University.
Brian De La Puente, Cal.
Kyle Long, Oregon.
Jordan Mills, The Louisiana Tech University.
So two backup linemen, but you've got Jeffrey and Marshall in the game. They're both set to the right. They start with Forte on the ground, and he goes next to nowhere. He is their #1 running back and has been for years. As we look at Jay Cutler, who started his career at Denver after he played his college ball at Vanderbilt, got traded to Chicago in '09, so already his 6th season, and he holds the record for most passing yards in the history of the team, second in touchdowns to Sid Luckman, who played a million years ago but still holds a lot of their passing marks. Double tight end set here, second down and 11. That's Dante Rosario setting up on the right side. Forte again to try to cut it back. A yard, maybe two. Michael Wilhoit, who was in on 14 tackles in Dallas last week, makes his first of the night here.
Yeah, Michael Wilhoit right here is a guy that really showed up. Navarro Bowman, we all know he was one of the candidates for Defensive Player of the Year a season ago, and yet it has been Wilhoit who stepped right in and played a lot like Bowman did.
Now he'll come out in the nickel on 3rd down and 9. You got Marshall and Jeffrey and also Martellus Bennett. You got them all to the left side with Bennett now in motion as they'll come out in a 3-by-1 set, and Cutler will look to the one side and then throw it low at the feet of Forte. Pressure put on by Corey Lemonnier, so a very fast 3-and-out for the Bears.
Well, you're just not fooling anybody on the 49ers right now. On the outside here, they smelled screen all the way. Ahmad Brooks just right there. And that was a relatively inept open for the Chicago Bears offense.
And the 49ers figured to get the ball in fairly decent shape. Patrick O'Donnell is their punter. They drafted him in the 6th round. He was the only punter taken in the 2014 draft by anybody. And it is blocked. And the ball is rolling toward the sideline and goes out of bounds at about the 7. Aaron Lynch, a rookie from Florida, a 5th-round draft choice, blocks the punt and sets up a 1st and goal.
Aaron Lynch started at Notre Dame and then ended up at South Florida, 6 sacks down there. He basically thought he had been disrespected by one of the scouts of the 49ers. Wasn't going to get on the airplane to even come here. They had to talk him into coming and then end up drafting him in the 5th round. He comes over the big play already.
And he makes the first big minute and 44 seconds into the game. So Kaepernick, 1st and goal from the 8-yard line. Gore behind him. Quick drop, pass too high, intended for Anquan Bolden. It'll be 2nd down and goal. Tim Jennings covering on the play. Colin Kaepernick, who made his first start about 2 years ago on a Monday night at Candlestick against Chicago. 948 rushing yards in his first 24 regular season starts. So you know he can take off. He's rushed for 9 touchdowns. And he has a gun for an arm. And now they shift to the shotgun with Gore flanking Kaepernick. Miller is in a slot. Kaepernick's going to keep it. Looking for room to the outside. Turning the corner. Stop at about the 2-yard line. And that'll make it 3rd down and goal. Shea McClellan driving him out of bounds.
You've got this read option that has really just been a nightmare for the Chicago Bears defense. McClellan right here at the end of the line of scrimmage, that's his responsibility. But they managed to get Bruce Miller, the fullback, out in front, so it ends up being almost a lead play on him. Until the Bears find a way to stop that play, they're going to continue to see it. It was an issue last week as well against Buffalo.
You saw Jared Allen, longtime Viking before that Kansas City, came over in the offseason. He's in there here on 3rd down and goal. The play clock is down to 1. they just do get it away, and Kaepernick throws for a touchdown. And the first touchdown in the history of the stadium belongs to Michael Crabtree.
Ray McDonald, the University of Florida.
Ian Williams, Notre Dame.
Justin Smith, Missouri.
Ahmad Brooks, UVA.
Michael Wilhoit, Highland Park High School, Topeka, Kansas.
Patrick Willis, Ole Miss.
Dan Scuda, Grand Valley State University.
Paris Cox, Oklahoma State.
Antoine Bethea, the Mecca, the real HU, Howard University.
Eric Reed, Louisiana State University. Chris Culliver, South Carolina.
Chris Culliver, he was a question mark during the week with limited playing time, but he starts tonight. Cutler trips right on first down. And in the pocket throws, and that's caught by the big tight end, Martellus Bennett. He's tackled there by Culliver. Good start for Bennett this season. Scored a touchdown on Chicago's opening drive last week at Soldier Field.
Well, one of the stories for the Chicago Bears, the fact that they have 2 starting offensive linemen out after they played every snap a season ago as a unit. But now Michael Ola, Brian De La Puente in for Matt Slauson and Roberto Garza. So we'll keep an eye the left guard in center position.
You saw Garza on the sideline as Cutler dances around and throws, and that's caught. It's a 5-yard pickup and a first down. Santonio Holmes, longtime Steeler, most recently with the Jets, 9th year in the league, and of course the big hero in Super Bowl 43 against Arizona a few years back.
Yeah, pretty interesting. Brandon Marshall and Santonio Holmes ran the same exact route. Marshall had about 3 guys around him. Santonio Holmes had nobody. So if you can make Jay Cutler look away from Brandon Marshall, usually good things happen. Not that time.
Keeping an eye on Marshall with the gimpy ankle. Limited practice time this week. He's split to the left. And Cutler will throw, and it's underthrown. Marshall had to bend down for it. It's incomplete. It'll be second down.
Well, Chris Culliver is the defensive back, and he knows Brandon Marshall has the bad ankle. And Culliver has a tendency to sort of sit down on routes anyway, and I would think maybe more so than ever tonight because he knows these receivers are banged up, especially Alshon Jeffrey, because he has the hamstring. You just don't expect that top-end speed.
So now you've got Jeffrey at the bottom of the screen, and you've got Marshall in the slot, and then Bennett comes over to this side as well. Cutler will look in that direction, then fire, and it's tipped and incomplete. Try to get that one into Jeffrey. It'll be third down and 10.
Boy, if you throw over the head of one of these Bears receivers, you've done something. Let's take a look on the outside. Here's Javon Bushrod, did a couple Pro Bowls with the New Orleans Saints. Blocking Justin Smith, who is one of the strongest guys playing defensive end in the National Football League, but he held up well there.
Smith, a couple of sacks last week in the Niner opener in Dallas. Third and 10. Cutler, quick throw. Bennett makes the catch, but he'll be stopped at the 35-yard line, and that'll set up Chicago's second punt with disastrous results on the first one. The first piece from here, about an hour's drive, depending on the traffic. Yep, back we come to Santa Clara from the 19-yard line, the second 49er drive. Frank Gore just pulling his way ahead as he's done for 10 years now, a gain of 6. It'll be second down and 4.
One of the problems is for Ryan Mundy, here he is as a linebacker, and you go, okay, that's great. You got the extra guy up there, but then you got to get the guy on the ground. Almost every time we do a 49ers game, some defender says to me, it is impossible to get under Frank Gore's pads. He is always running over somebody. I think one of the most underrated backs there is in the NFL. A great pass protection back.
I don't know how he doesn't wind up in Canton. It's 10 years in the league, steady and solid. Third-round pick out of Miami in 05. Kaepernick rolling right, buying time, reaching up. Anquan Bolden to the 46-yard line for a big gain and a first down. Tackled there by Ryan Mundy. That's a gain of 21 yards.
Well, here's what happens when you can get your running game going. Then you can go play action. Then you can go bootlegs. You've got all those safeties up around the line of scrimmage, and it gets easy. So if you're Ryan Mundy, you get up there, you try and help on the run. Now you have to pay attention to the bootleg, and this is when the 49ers get good.
Jim Harbaugh picking him up last year from his brother John in Baltimore. His second year with this team, 12th in the league for Bolden. Good protection. Kaepernick throws, and the ball, if it's caught, it's not. It's incomplete. Bolden hit by Tillman as we take a look at the 49er offense.
Colin Kaepernick, Nevada.
Frank Gore, the U.
Bruce Miller, Central Florida.
Anquan Bolden, Florida State University.
Michael Crabtree, Texas Tech.
Vernon Davis, University of Maryland.
Joe Staley, Central Michigan University.
Mike Upati, Idaho.
Daniel Kilgore, Appalachia State.
Alex Boone, The Ohio State University.
Jonathan Martin, Stanford.
Martin taking the spot of Anthony Davis, who's hurt. Carlos Hyde is the running back right now in this set. And the pass is intercepted at the 42-yard line by Charles Tillman. Inside 49er territory, there's a flag down. Tillman trying to hold on to it as they're trying to extricate it from him and gets it to the 35. So the flag is down there are two of them near midfield between the 45 and because this is automatic. It's a turnover is what it's ruled as. So take a look at this. Does Tillman have control and possession? The ball is coming out. The ball is on the ground. Dean Blandino is going to look at it in New York. And 10 for San Francisco.
Both linebackers up in the blitz look. We'll see if they drop back.
Bears come on the blitz, and Kaepernick is able to escape it. And he'll pack it in, looking for the first down. A flag is down. And for the moment, he has a first down. Then the ball comes loose, but his knee was down. Tim Jennings on the blitz. He got by him, Kaepernick did. And Sheffers has been...
Joe Staley right here is going to grab Ratliff inside. Not always seen, but you could see little jersey being tugged and cost the 49ers and Colin Kaepernick a big first down. Did send Lance Briggs, who did not play very well for the Chicago Bears. The tape doesn't lie. We've got to get him in the game more, and he was smelling sack on that one.
3rd and 15. Four-man rush. Kaepernick in the pocket, throws, and a flag is down again. Vernon Davis has it at the 49-yard line. It's the cornerback out of Virginia Tech.
They take Tim Jennings in the slot and let the rookie play outside, and you see the jersey pull. There's no doubt about it. That's the only thing in this day and age. You just can't do that. Anytime they see any sort of jersey being tugged, it's automatic. No discussion. Big mistake there by the rookie.
Already the third accepted penalty against Chicago. They've also had a block punt. Carlos Hyde is the running back. He's a rookie out of Ohio State. They picked him in the second round, and the backup to Gore. Fake it to him, throw, and then it's dropped. Vance McDonald had to spin around, couldn't hold it. Let's take a look at the Chicago defense.
Lamar Houston, Texas. Jeremiah Ratliff, Auburn.
Stephen Paya, Oregon State University.
Jared Allen, Idaho State.
Shea McClellan, Boise State.
DJ Williams, the U.
Lance Briggs, Desert Swarm, Arizona.
Tim Jennings, Georgia.
Ryan Mundy, Woodland Hills High School.
Chris Conde, Cal.
Charles Tillman, the University of Louisiana.
Tillman not credited with that interception because the ball hit the ground. Would have been his 37th. And now out of the pistol with Gore behind Kaepernick. Play action. Rolling away. Throwing and incomplete. Anquan Bolden stretching. Reaching down. Couldn't hold it. Paya put the pressure on Kaepernick that time. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
There's just so many guys around the line of scrimmage right now for the Bears. They're just saying, throw it. We don't care. We're not going to let you run it on us this week. Frank Gore really with a nice block there on Stephen Paya. Yet another block on a defensive lineman for Frank Gore. But Tucker not too happy about anything yet.
Well, second year as the defensive coordinator. Came over, hired by Trestman last year. Kaepernick now on a 3rd and 10. Run a stunt up front, and the pass is caught over the middle at the 42. Vernon Davis. is as good as any tight end in the league. They needed 10. He gets 11. It's a first down.
Jonathan Bostic, the young linebacker, is going to go here and then drop back, but he just overruns Vernon Davis. He's keeping his eye on Kaepernick instead of having a feel for where that first down marker was. Vernon Davis got up to the first down line, turned around, and Bostic just overran it.
Forward progress took him to the 40, so it's a pickup of 14 yards. Kaepernick is 3 out of his first 8 for 38 yards. 6:40 to go in the quarter. Inside handoff. Nice looking play. Beautifully designed. Gore for a gain of 7. Right Gore to the 33-yard line on this new sod. It's the 3rd time in a month that they've put a new playing surface down, and this one's holding up pretty well tonight.
Watch the ball handling here. It looks like the Globetrotters as they come around here and then hand it back to Gore going the other way. Lead blockers in front. Very nicely designed by Greg Roman. Last week they got up so quickly on the Dallas Cowboys. Greg Roman said, I had all this ammunition. I didn't get to run any of it because we were in front by so much. Looking forward to tonight. That was one of them.
And another new formation here. 3 backs and Kaepernick's going to keep it. Miller looking to throw a block, and Kaepernick gets taken out of bounds after a very short game. 49ers love to run, and Kaepernick, of course, is part of that running game. You go back to 2011, they run more than half the time. And 140 rush yards per game, 4.5 per carry is 6th best. And, of course, that coincides with that man coming here, Mr. Harbaugh.
Well, Bo Schembechler taught him well, didn't he?
Yep.
Make sure you have a fullback and a tight end at all times, Jim.
3rd and 1. Someone was on the sideline here, and Kaepernick, play fake, rolling right, flag is thrown, and it is taken at the 14-yard line by Vernon Davis. There are 2 flags, though, at the 35-yard line. 2 of
many bodies, and so this bootleg is just eating them up.
At the 14-yard line. Play clock down to 1. This time they do get the snap away, and Chicago able to stuff Carlos Hyde. You go back over the last 10 games for last season, the Bears defense allowing 6.2 yards per rush. It's insane.
Extraordinary number. Good play that time by Jared Allen. They're just crashing both guys inside here. The second one has to be for Kaepernick. And it's one of the things that makes it so difficult. Just the mere threat of Kaepernick taking off around the edge makes Mel Tucker's life miserable, because now you can't go crash the run like most teams can against more of a traditional quarterback.
This will be the 12th play of a drive that started at the San Francisco 19. Kaepernick, quick release, and that's caught, but taken down immediately is Crabtree by the rookie Kyle Fuller. And they will spot that ball at the
play after play after play, but you let 3 big runs get out of there, and all of a sudden you look like you're awful.
Carlos Hyde is the running back, the pistol here, and Hyde breaks it off to the left on a 3rd and 10. And the pass is taken there and out of bounds at the 10-yard line goes Hyde. Charles Tillman is there, and at least the Bear defense able to hold them to a field goal attempt. That drive, 13 plays, 72 yards. It took more. Cutler is 3 out of 6 for 16 yards. So can the Bear offense get something started, get a break after the penalty, moving them from the 20 to the 35 as they begin this drive from the 35-yard line. And Forte will slip out of the backfield, but Willis is able to knock him down for no gain at the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10. Well, Mark Trestman came in, and one of the reasons was to get that Bear offense going, and he certainly did that. He's an offensive mastermind. Franchise record set last year, total yards, passing yards, 32 touchdown passes. A lot of good stuff on that side of the ball. And then in the offseason, because of what happened defensively, it was the draft and free agency, and we thought about defense.
Better think about a little offense right now.
Yeah. 2nd and 10. Cutler to the outside. That's a short gain.
Whoa.
And Alshon Jeffrey gets taken down by Chris Culliver.
I tell you, you better be careful messing around with Chris Culliver. He's starting to sniff. He knows these Bears receivers are hurt, and he's creeping up a little bit more every time. He might have his sights set on a pick six here before this one's over with. At some point, the Bears have to prove that they can run by these 49er corners. They've got some injuries back there as well.
He also knows Jeffrey pretty well. They both went to South Carolina. 3rd down and 6 from the 39-yard line. Cutler hangs in the pocket, then it's dropped. You got another flag. Martellus Bennett. Flag is on the near side of the field, away from the play.
This time, Jimmy Ward right here. Anytime you're going to go to the face, no doubt about it. Right against Santonio Holmes. Hands to the face everywhere on that play.
So a little over a minute to play now in the first quarter. Deep drop, and then the pass caught by Forte, but he's not going nowhere. Ahmad Brooks had him covered all the way and drops him for a loss.
It's like Ahmad Brooks is in the huddle. Comes out here, he's reading this all the way, and they know because of the injuries to the Bears receivers that their focus in this game was going to be Martellus Bennett and Matt Forte. An excellent tight end, an excellent back coming out of the backfield. But they're great when your two wideouts are making plays, and so far, nothing.
On 2nd and 10, another underneath pass. This time it is Bennett. And Bennett taking a couple of Niners for a little ride into San Francisco territory. He'll be about 2.5 shy of the first down.
Well, at least
Clara. 3rd down and 2 as we start the second quarter with a little toss to Forte, and Matt will pick up the first down. Some tough running, gain of 7. So if you want to go from Candlestick to here, well, or downtown anyway, that's how you'd go. You go down to 101. It's 43 miles with no traffic. 43 minutes. Right in the middle of Silicon Valley. On a Friday afternoon at 4 o'clock, about 2 hours and 15 minutes.
I think there are a few smart people around here in this valley. Most of them very young.
How about the real estate prices, huh?
Yeah.
And Cutler has a lot of time and then throws, and the pass is incomplete. So give me your initial impressions of this place after we take a look at the replay.
Well, got to keep an eye on Brandon Marshall. I was watching Alshon Jeffrey on that last one, and he's really struggling to try and run. You'll see, I mean, this is an explosive player, big yardage, and that's kind of the way he's been doing it. At some point now, Brandon Marshall looking a little better. His issues are going to be more cutting. At some point, you have to consider, do you want to give Josh Bellamy, do you want to give Chris Williams a chance to be a speed threat?
2nd and 10, and Cutler will throw, and that pass is knocked away. That's Parrish Cox knocking it down. And that'll make it 3rd and 10.
Now, here's exactly what happens if you have no respect for the top end speed of the receivers. You sit on the routes and you come in and you break it up. Parrish Cox with a nice play there, who's really getting a chance to start tonight because of the injury to Tremaine Brock.
So at the 41, 3rd down and 10. First minute of the second quarter. 10-0 49ers. And Cutler throwing and making the catch along the sideline over his shoulders. Martellus Bennett. Great grab there. Concentrating, getting his feet down inbounds, and it's a gain of 22 off a 3rd down play.
Just this little rub play, which puts Martellus Bennett out in open space against Patrick Willis. This is just a gorgeous throw. Jay Cutler just throws this one absolutely perfectly. And Bennett does catch it before.
Equivalent of almost 3 full seasons.
Vernon Davis said he's never met a more competitive guy in his life than Frank Gore, and I'm going to echo that one.
From the 20-yard line, they're going to start with Gore. And he'll cut it up for a gain of 7. You know, one thing about this stadium, if you build a new stadium, you know what's going to happen. You're going to wind up getting a Super Bowl. And that's going to be the case. The Super Bowl next year will be played here. So Detroit built one. They got it. Indianapolis built one. They got it. Minnesota's building one. They're going to get one again. Indy.
I think they're going to be happy having one here. This is pretty spectacular. You know, we always sort of compare everything to Dallas's stadium, and this was pretty close. It's pretty special.
And this is Gore, and he'll chug to the 29. They actually have played one Super Bowl in the Bay Area. You go back to the 1984 season when the Niners won their second of 5 Super Bowls with Bill Walsh. It was Montana. And it was Dan Marino's only Super Bowl. They beat Miami, and they did that at Stanford Stadium, which is about a 25-minute drive from here. 3rd and 1. From the 29-yard line. Gore's carried 4 times for 23 yards. And this time they give it to the upback, and it's going to be close as Bruce Miller, the fullback, takes the ball to the 30, and if the nose of the ball's on the 30, he has it. If it's not, he does not. And he's going to be a little short.
Jeremiah Ratliff right here. Watch this play. I thought he played really well last week in that game. And this time just shoots the gap inside and makes a huge play when the Bears needed it most. Big time. They had some guys that
tells you a couple of things. Number 1, stays healthy. Number 2, he's in on almost every down and rarely comes out of the game.
2nd in rushing in the NFL last year, 3rd in yards from scrimmage, and one of the better route running backs that there are in football.
And from the 13-yard line, they'll give it to him, and he'll get stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Ray McDonald is there to make the tackle. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
Well, Ray McDonald's a good football player. Of course, right now, of course, the conversations about what's going on with him off the field. Was arrested for domestic abuse. Has not been charged yet. I want to emphasize that. So I have strong opinions about a lot of this, but when somebody hasn't been charged yet, I think he still should have the right to play.
And again, he's being thrown into the hopper with this week, the hell week for the NFL. I mean, everybody looks like a bum. 2nd down and 9. Into the outside, and breaking a tackle goes Bennett, but now they're going to say Bennett was down. But Jimmy Ward was able to stop him. And they'll spot the ball at the 14-yard line.
Boy, that was close. Martellus Bennett got his hand down and looked like he might have stayed up on this one. Let's take a close look. This knee down. Yes, sir. Good call by the officials. There was a lot of room to run if he had been able to stay up on that one.
Bennett, former Cowboy, former Giant.
And for the first time, we have Chris Williams in the game, number 82. He's a speedster at the bottom of the screen.
And a sack and a flag as well. You have Justin Smith. Barring a personal foul here, Justin Smith is going to get credit for 3 for the 14-year man Smith.
Justin Smith is just a monster. Here's Michael Ola, the backup guard in there. Played in the Canadian Football League for Mark Trestman, and he is just no match. But Michael, don't feel badly. There aren't many people that can match up with that guy.
93% at least. 1st and 10 from the 50-yard line as Kaepernick lines up in the gun. Carlos Hyde, the rookie running back, flanks him. And Kaepernick goes one over the middle, and that is picked off by Chris Conte. Conte gambled, is able to get in front of the receiver and pick it off at the 31-yard line. Timed it perfectly on a pass intended for Anquan Bolden.
Chris Conte takes a little heat sometimes, but right here, watch him break on this football. Sees it. Kaepernick does not look him off at all, and that was a mistake. It gave Conte the jump that he needed. So now 2 games, and for Chris Conte, his 2nd interception. What a spectacular play that was.
Eight interceptions. He has 2 interceptions. He also took a lot of grief last week. He was taken for a ride in overtime by Fred Jackson, and that couldn't have been very much fun for him to watch on film this week.
His side of the story was he knew they were going to get the game-winning field goal anyway. He was going for the ball. We'll stick to that.
Yeah, that's a good excuse. Here's Cutler. Going deep, too deep, and incomplete. That time Jeffrey sends Jeffrey deep. Jeffrey, of course, comes back from the hamstring, and he was a game-time decision.
The one thing about Alshon Jeffrey is, you know, he's not necessarily a burner, but if you're not comfortable with that hamstring, you just don't open it up to that next gear. So I think Jay Cutler has to start to ratchet it down. I mean, these are big receivers. Maybe they can't outrun the 49ers tonight, but they can still go up and muscle some balls. Give them a chance for those.
Forte, nothing. Coming up is Antoine Bethea, longtime Indianapolis Colt. Another guy they picked up as a free agent in the offseason. 9th season in the league for Antoine.
And Antoine Bethea got a game ball last week. You know, Dante Whitner, known as Dante Hittner in the secondary, went on to Cleveland. And so there were a lot of concerns bringing Bethea, and he was very, very good a week ago. And I think that he brings the comfort level that maybe when Whitner left, they were worried about.
Whitner gone, Terrell Brown left as well. Carlos Rogers left, so they retooled that secondary. 3rd and 11. Cutler buying time. And Willis will take him down. So it's 3rd and 11. Secondary does its job. Everybody's covered. And Chicago forced finale. Okay. 15-yard line after the punt. San Francisco with a 1st and 10. Halfway through the second quarter, and the 49ers leading by 10. Kaepernick throwing. That's a 1st down, and it's Crabtree taking off, and he almost busted it all the way. Gain of 20. Lance Briggs has been in the news a lot lately.
Yeah, unfortunately, he didn't have such a good day last week, and it came after on Monday he decided to take a personal day, went out to the Double Nickel Smokehouse restaurant, I guess, that he owns in L.A., and then didn't play very well, and so he's heard about it all week long, but everybody said he's been flying around in practice, and to be honest and fair, he's played pretty well here tonight.
From the 35-yard line, reaching up and making the catch again, and that's Crabtree. Charles Tillman with the coverage.
A couple of mistakes last week. Sometimes you can try to be too aggressive and make too many plays. Here he clearly jumps out of his gap, and they break off a long run. This time Ryan Mundy ended up wrongly going across with the tight end, and saw Briggs jump through the line of scrimmage, and so nobody there, and that's the play we were talking about with Chris Conte as well.
Crabtree has now caught 4 for 39 yards, and the game's only touchdown. The ground again, huge hole. Frank Gore off to the races. Frank Gore trying to get to the end zone, and he does. Touchdown, but there's a flag down. Flag is back at the 35-yard line. And the Bears indicating against San Francisco that would be a 54-yard touchdown run.
There's bold number 81 coming up. Wow. Let's see. He gets his arm extended, and I guess they're going to say right there he kind of wrapped it around the shoulder pad.
Leaves the ball short of the line to gain. 1st down is repeated. 1st down and half a yard.
Well,
Bubba's right.
Potty, nice block. Vance McDonald, nice block. DJ Williams got ran out of the hole, and then there was that kind of hold on the tail end, and it all comes back.
Kind of, sort of. The defensive back was losing his balance. Anyway, so it's 1st and 1, spot foul, and now Kaepernick will take the ball to the 29-yard line and stop the presses. No flags.
You know, it's so interesting. I was talking to Greg Roman about Colin Kaepernick running and all that. He said, you know when he's really in danger is when he's sitting in the pocket being still and these guys are coming up behind him and hit him in the back of the head. He said, when's the last time you saw Colin Kaepernick or a Russell Wilson take a big shot when they're running down the field, have their eyes on the defenders? They're slippery. They have a way of making those guys miss, and that's exactly what happened there.
And Kaepernick this time will hold on. Ball is loose, and the Bears, Jared Allen created the fumble. And the Chicago Bears have recovered the ball at the 20-yard line.
Good hustle by Jared Allen. Took care of his responsibility inside, hustled back to the outside.
Here at Levi Stadium. One of great history for this franchise. It started in the 40s in the All-America Football Conference. Matt Forte picks up one back to Jared Allen, making his first big play as a Bear.
Talking to Jared Allen, he says your responsibility is go inside, get your gap, and then hustle back to the ball. Exactly what he does there. Gets his helmet right on the football, and Colin Kaepernick can't hold on to it and then let the party begin over on the sideline. Those two veteran players have picked it up tremendously over what I saw from them a week ago. They played like that last week. They probably win by 10.
Defense playing pretty well. A couple of turnovers. It's up to the offense now. Now, what do you got here? You got the ball loose, picked up, and trying to pick it up on the run, and that cost them the opportunity to wind up with the ball. Was Lynch, who had blocked the punt earlier, and getting back there was Brandon Marshall. So if Lynch just falls on it, it's a 1st and goal. Instead, Chicago has the ball inside the 5.
Jay Cutler, you can see the tap coming from Michael Ola. Remember, that's a backup center in there, Brian De La Puente, but he was a guy that started the last 3 years for the Saints, so plenty of experience, but maybe not so much with Jay Cutler at this point. Very, very fortunate for the Bears on that one.
So 3rd down and 28, if nothing else, trying to buy some space for his punter here. And he's going to go for the bomb all the way down into double coverage and nearly picked off at the 50-yard line by Parrish Cox. But that would have been pretty moot at this point of the night. McRae takes over for Conti now. With Conti out, the ball at the 30-yard line. So Kaepernick with a short field and play action. And surveying. And then just throws it away with nobody open. 2nd down and 10.
Well, a week ago, Shea McClellan blew these types of coverages on the bootleg twice in that game. He's trying to make the conversion from defensive end to linebacker. Much better here. Reggie Herring, the linebacker coach, worked with him all week. He's got a lot to learn, but he hustles, he plays hard. And really, so far, this Bears defense has played pretty darn well out here tonight. You take away that block punt, and they've played a tremendous game.
Kill. Created a couple of turnovers, but another big stop here to try to limit the 49ers to nothing more than a field goal, and the pass is caught. It's going to be 1st and goal inside the 10. Derek Carrier winds up with the catch. He would be the number 3 tight end. That's a gain of 23 yards.
Derek Carrier is a man. He knew coming all the way across, he's going to take a shot. There's no way he's not getting blown up on this one. He catches it. Tillman lays him out, and he hangs on to the football. Fantastic play. Nothing illegal about that hit. That's just good, hard football. Great play by Derek Carrier.
Like so many tight ends in the league now, a basketball player in college with Beloit. 2.5 to go in the 1st half. And Kaepernick under pressure, and then it's dropped out in the flat by Carlos Hyde, the rookie running back. He put on Kaepernick that time, and it'll be 2nd down.
You know, that's a play you basically let McClellan come on the blitz, but it happened so fast, Kaepernick really just didn't even have time to react to it. So once again, this Bears defense is being asked a lot because offensively, just nothing to show for it.
That Chicago offense, 1.3 yards per play.
So you go back to that play, Martellus Bennett, and that was taken away. Difference here.
Here's Gore, and Gore this time into the end zone. And it will count. Boy, they run that play so well and have for a long time with Gordon, no matter who the quarterback is. Give it to him, inside handoff, have him start toward the middle, slice it back toward the outside, and then he goes.
I think you're going to get Bostic here kind of overrunning this thing. You got to stay backside in your gap, and I think he thought Gore was going strong side and may have overrun that a little bit. Just that read option. If Jared Allen stays right there, you just hand it to Frank Gore, and for about a decade, that's been an even better guy.
And just fabulous to watch. It's the old cliche, the price of admission. There was a guy who was worth it. Pass over the middle, and that's going to be a first down for Martellus Bennett. 10-yard gain out to the 30-yard line.
Well, last week the Bears had 3 players with 8 catches or more. This week, Martellus Bennett's the only one with more than 1. I mean,
week and the latest on Ray Rice and Adrian Peterson coming up on the Toyota halftime. 17-0 San Francisco. Bears trying to get something going before the half, and it's a short pass over the middle, gain of 4. Brandon Marshall makes the catch.
To do it all the time with Aldon Smith. You're going to see come up here and hook this lineman and allow the other defensive end to come underneath. You can see the hand right there hooked around Michael Ola. Aldon Smith probably had about 7 or 8 sacks on that play right there, but I think in part because the umpire is now behind the defense, able to see it here inside of 2 minutes.
On first down, Cutler, pressure from behind, escapes, comes out, gets the first down, and slides to a stop at the 39-yard line. Jay Cutler taking off, nearly sacked from behind, turns it into a 25-yard romp.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. When you get man coverage, if the quarterback breaks free, everybody else is chasing a receiver, and there just is nobody left.
Working without huddle, of course, here. And Forte can't hold on. That stops the clock with 1:24.
You know, when you're playing on the road, here's Jay Cutler. He wasn't looking to get down either. He was going for all he was worth, and he saw, I think it was Corey Lemonnier, running a little faster than the quarterback did. All right, I'll opt down. Wasn't quite Colin Kaepernick, but wasn't bad. He's pretty mobile, too.
Second and 10. Cutler gets it away just before they get to him, and Forte is covered by Will Hoyt. Ray McDonald forced the issue that time, getting into the backfield. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
They're starting to really work some stunts inside that time. Ray McDonald came all the way around his 2 partners up front and got pressure on Jay Cutler.
Third and 10. Cutler wants Forte to come into the backfield to help with the protection. Looking at that front. And Cutler going for it all. There's a flag thrown, and you got Alshon Jeffrey, who looked like he was held up. Yeah, Bethea and Parrish Cox were both there.
Yeah, double move. Parrish Cox there anyway. A little panic anytime you're seeing somebody run by you. At least that's a good option for the Chicago Bears, those double moves, so you don't have to be absolutely top-end speed to get by these defenders.
It had been 3rd and 10. That makes it first down. Cutler buying time, flips one toward the sideline. That's taken there by Forte, and he gets tackled at the 15, but again, a penalty.
Yeah, he went out of bounds before he caught the football.
49ers have had 9 accepted penalties. There it is. The ugly numbers. 1st and 15. And Cutler going deep, and that's almost picked off at the goal line. And you have another flag down because Cutler got popped. Quentin Dial came in, and that's why Cutler's on his knee.
Roughing the passer. Number 92 defense lowered his helmet and hit the quarterback with the crown of his helmet.
So you had that. You had Jeffrey.
First down.
Yeah, Jeffrey going deep. But Jeffrey had to turn into the defensive back that time to prevent an interception.
I'm not sure Cutler's getting up from this one. This is helmet right to the ribs, right to the sternum area. That hurts. Locking up on you.
So now under a minute, the ball's at the 25-yard line. And Forte can't get out of the backfield. Tony Jared Eddy makes the hit.
I think that play call was Mark Trestman saying, I got to give my quarterback a play here. I mean, that is right down Broadway. Right dead in the heart of the 6. You know, for defenders, they have to think about a lot of things, but you can't drop that helmet on those quarterbacks.
Cutler got hurt last year. Josh McNown came in and actually did a great job. In fact, at one point, when Cutler was ready to come back, there was a little controversy in Chicago about maybe keeping him in.
Yeah, down in Tampa now.
But Cutler came back, and Chicago had every opportunity to win the division and lost the chance on the final day of the season at Soldier Field when Randall Cobb got free. Took in a pass from Aaron Rodgers, and Green Bay went to the playoffs. 2nd and 11. And Cutler throws, and Marshall makes the catch, and he'll get tackled close to the 20-yard line by Eric Reed. It's 3rd down and 2. Clock ticking down. Chicago with 2 timeouts. Not using one here. A lot of time coming off the clock here. A lot of time. Cutler to the end. Oh, one-handed grab by Brandon Marshall. Spectacular. What a catch. Not the first time he's ever hauled one in one-handed. What a beauty. Unbelievable.
Wow. That's just wow. You're playing hurt. You go up. Your team is desperate for a play. The clock's ticking down, and you make that. Wow. That's fantastic.
Came out of last week's game with an ankle injury. So a very
couple of penalties really proved big on this one. Quentin Dahl with the shot right with the crown of the helmet. That kept it alive there. And then Parrish Cox on 3rd down. The illegal contact. So penalties playing a big part in everything here tonight. Great respect, though. Brandon Marshall just playing this thing out, and Jay Cutler could have easily come off the field after taking that shot, hung in there, and now has his team right back in it.
We've had more flags than you'd see on June 14th.
Be a little more aggressive right here and see if you can't pick up a field goal.
Kaepernick thinking just that, throwing but to the 42-yard line, and that's going to be Frank Gore getting out of bounds there. They got 3 seconds, so that's that night.
And Jim Harbaugh had to be quite the pair.
Oh. And Kaepernick's going to gun it deep downfield, but that's going to be incomplete, and that's going to take us to halftime. But the Bears are able to scramble back in it with that.
But Scoot had a good game last week. He was the guy that forced the fumble that got the Dallas game started in the right direction. It led to a touchdown right off the bat.
Culliver took it into the end zone. San Francisco took care of Dallas as Frank Gore goes nowhere. Stephen Paya making the tackle at the line of scrimmage. Gore tonight now has carried the ball 7 times for 50 yards.
Yeah, and so now you're going to end up with, let me see if I can find Monday. I think he's right here. But nope, do it the wrong way. Just jumped right inside of him. But they have the safeties up. They have had it all night long. And so basically what they've been able to do for the most part is sort of force the hand a little bit of Greg Roman into throwing the ball on earlier downs where this really is a run-first football team.
And 2nd and 10. Kaepernick sliding out. And he's going to run and come very close to picking up that 1st down. Speedy, we know that. Fabulous arm, we know that. And Kaepernick with a gain of 9 yards, making it 3rd down and 1.
You know, one of the things you've got to be careful about with this guy is when Jared Allen loops back inside here, Kaepernick is going to take advantage. So now the containment is gone on that side. And there he goes. You really have to be pretty disciplined in how you rush this guy.
So they give it to Gore. They get Miller in there at fullback, and they do. And he'll bust his way out to the 26-yard line to move the chains. 1st down.
I'll tell you, he's had a nice game tonight. Vance McDonald, the tight end, drafted in the 2nd round, goes in motion here. But really not only gets the block, but gets the defender turned. So once you get that in there, now there's no doubt for Frank Gore where to go with the football. It's one thing to get solid contact, another to get him turned and really create that running lane.
Now Kaepernick from the pistol, from the 26. Pump fake and then a pass, and that's about a 9-yard gain to McDonald. Vance McDonald right there, 2nd-year man out of Rice, picking up 9.
You know, you just like watching what Colin Kaepernick is starting to grow into. You know, we talk about his arm strength. He's got the 94-mile-an-hour fastball. We talk about his ability to run and gets outside the pocket. But I think now you're seeing him mature as a quarterback. He's more willing to stand there, take the check downs, go through the progressions. You can just watch him advance every year.
Play action. Looking for the big gainer and get it. This is Michael Crabtree to the 40-yard line. A little play action on the 2nd and 1, and then a nice gain of 24 yards to number 15.
Now, the one guy that we haven't talked a whole lot about right out here, Jonathan Martin replacing Anthony Davis. And really, Lamar Houston was probably their primary pass rusher a week ago, but we all know the story with Jonathan Martin, what happened to him with the Miami Dolphins. Has come over here. Jim Harbaugh had him in college, and so far tonight he's hung in there very, very well. And I'll say this, what happened in Miami is not typical of locker rooms.
In the middle of that bullying episode, which also featured one Richie Incognito as Gore is taken down at the line of scrimmage. And talked to a couple of 49ers the other day. You ever talk to Martin about that? No, hasn't come up in the locker room.
Not once. They didn't talk to him about it. They haven't had a meeting about it with the rest of the team. Nobody's brought it up to him a single time. They go, hey, he's a football player. I'm sure he's sick of it. We're sick of it. Come in here and help us. And he's done that very well. He's been a little sharper even tonight than what he was a week ago.
And you saw Harbaugh. He was his college coach. Right up the road at Stanford. 2nd down and 11 from the 42-yard line. Kaepernick will keep it. Off he goes. Slides to a stop after he picks up a 1st down at the 30-yard line.
He's reading Jared Allen here. Jared Allen's going to go down inside, but then they have another back to come around, Vernon Davis, because what they do is just replace Jared Allen with the linebacker coming around. But now you've got the lead blocker out in front of that, Vernon Davis. And so even though there's a guy out there, it's still difficult to stop. It almost ends up like a fullback lead. Does that make any sense?
A lot.
Okay.
I'm taking that to the bank with me. And Kaepernick is able to escape. And he seeks the sideline right here. Nothing happening downfield. And out of bounds he goes.
Offense.
Meanwhile, there's Charles Tillman, who went down at the end of that play and is just now getting up along the sideline. So Peanut, in his 12th year in the league, been a tremendous corner and a stalwart on this Bears defense for years. Take a look at how he got hurt here, working on Crabtree.
I don't know exactly what he did, but with all the bad things going on in the NFL this week, Charles Tillman's your Walter Payton Man of the Year, so a lot of good guys out there too.
Chris Conte comes in now. So Conte's still out. Fuller moves over, the rookie #1 pick, to take Tillman's spot at the corner. And let's see if Kaepernick goes to work in that area. 2nd and 10. Instead, through the middle, they give the ball to Carlos Hyde. And the rookie out of Ohio State goes nowhere.
Jeremiah Ratliff has just been making all kinds of plays. He did this last week as well. When he's healthy and when he's right, he can really be something inside. Of course, all those different crazy things with the Dallas Cowboys down there finally got out of that situation. He wasn't happy. The Cowboys weren't happy with him. And when he came in at the end of the season, it was a real uptick for this defense.
4 straight Pro Bowls while a member of the Dallas Cowboys. 3rd down and 11 now for the 49ers. And against the 4-man rush, and is caught on the run. This is Stevie Johnson, the former Buffalo Bill. Takes the ball to the 10. That's a gain of 21 yards. Tackled by Fuller.
You called it, Al, right? At Kyle Fuller, the rookie, in there replacing Charles Tillman. Also have a young safety back there, Danny McCray, in the back end because of the injury to Chris Conte. So maybe focusing over there on Kaepernick's left side for a while. But this is the least unhappy team we've ever had.
AKA the happiest. So a 5-yard penalty on Ferguson. It's 1st and goal now, and it is Gore swinging to the outside. Little sniff on there. And it's Fuller and Jennings who combined to stop him. Actually, they can get a 1st down without getting a touchdown, so it's 2nd down and 3.
Well, this is what happens when you play a gap-control defense and all the gaps are filled. There's nowhere to go, and Frank Gore tried to bounce it all the way around, but then the speed of the secondary came into play. And really, after the way the Bears went down and scored the touchdown before the half, really significant moment in the game here. Hold them to a field goal, and you're still right in this thing.
Extra lineman in there. Looney comes in as the extra tight end. A little more leverage. They give the ball to Hyde. And he can't hide from Lance Briggs. Gets taken down to the 7-yard line. So this is a drive that has not consumed more than half of the 3rd quarter. Chicago has not had the ball in the 3rd period.
Yeah, Lance Briggs not making any mistakes this time. He's finding his gap. He's fitting it perfectly. There he is. Forces the bounce out. Different looking defense against the run here tonight. No big glaring mistakes this time around. This is a very disciplined defense in how you have to play it. They've been much better tonight.
Pretty big hole here to try to keep this at a 2-possession and not a 3-possession game. 3rd and 6. Gore, and they stop him. He gets taken down at the line of scrimmage. Willie Young, one of those new Bears, came over after 4 years with Detroit. And so he stops him, and the 49ers will have to settle for a field goal attempt by Dawson.
I tell you, this Willie Young is something special. He is so fast off the mark. Reads it, ends up, Mike Iupati turns up before
2, which is pretty much standard for stadiums these days, and the official opening night. They played a couple of preseason games here. Some night show this week on NBC.
Singers love a singer, and Jimmy Fallon can sing.
Right. And they set up a screen here to Forte, but it's sniffed out, taken down by Patrick Willis. Let's check in with Michelle.
Well, the Bears defensive backfield has taken a major hit. Charles Tillman is out with a right triceps injury. It was a torn right triceps that cut his season short last year. Now, when he came to the sideline and to the bench and was talking with team doctors, very emotional. You can see tears streaming down his face. Clearly just distraught, Al.
Oh, yeah, and you look at a guy like that, and anybody who's around this sport knows him. And you just feel for a guy like that, you know, in the waning years of his career, and then to have this happen in the 2nd game of the season. 2nd and 8. Cutler to the outside, and this is Forte, and Scooter's right there with him. 3rd down.
Well, one thing they knew coming in here was that they had to stop Martellus Bennett and Matt Forte and take their chances with these wideouts. Now, Brandon Marshall made the huge play, but they read the scouting report as well, and they knew who was hurt for the Chicago Bears, and so Fat Forte bottled up a bit tonight.
3rd and 9 from the 21. And Cutler throws, and that's incomplete. That's the last thing with a flag down.
Of emphasis this year, one of the things they wanted to take away was the offensive lineman. You can't put your hand up there and just hold it up there. But a year ago, offensive linemen were jabbing to the face mask and taking it back down. So they took that away, but they also really have emphasized defensively you can't do that.
That's 100 yards in penalties against the 49ers tonight. 100. Cutler airing it out into double coverage, and it's almost intercepted. Josh Bellamy, a lot of speed, the intended receiver, Bethea and Parrish. Cox almost came away with a pick. Incomplete. 2nd down.
Well, he got Bethea to turn on the back end. I don't know if we'll see it or not, but Bethea turned to his right, and I think Jay felt like that he was going to have an opportunity to squeeze that in. But Bethea, being a Pro Bowler that he is, flipped his hips back around and was right there to make a play.
Cutler on 2nd and long. Forte. Good tackle made at the 29 by Wilhoit. 3rd down.
You know, that final drive right before the half, so big. And it was a couple of plays by these wideouts. Double move, got the penalty drawn, and 1st down there for Alshon Jeffrey. And then this piece of brilliant receiving here. Watch this one. You can't do it a whole lot better than that. That's what these guys can still do despite their injured legs. They can still go up and win those jump balls.
3rd and 7. Niners send 4. Cutler deep again, but too deep that time, and Jeffrey's looking around trying to get a flag, and does. A flag is thrown at the 46-yard line. Just 4 yards for Jeffrey, and well, Marshall made the big play of the game for Chicago to this point. 1st and 15. Cutler guns it over the middle. That's caught. This time Jeffrey makes the catch. His 2nd grab of the night, and he's close to a 1st down at the 44-yard line.
You just have to admire the guts of these guys. They are just not right here. Watch them just laboring up the field, and against the zone defense, you can kind of find those gaps in the zone. Against Alshon Jeffrey, they may want to start to think about, do we want to get up and try and jam him? Because as a receiver, it forces you to make quick movements, and when you have a hamstring injury, that's not your preference.
And so Tillman on the sideline. That pass was a little short of the 1st down. They need a yard, and Forte will chug for it here to move the chains out to the 45-yard line. 2.5 to play in the 3rd quarter.
One of the things I thought I would see more tonight out of Mark Trestman's offense is what they call their 12 offense, or 1 back and 2 tight ends. There was a lot of talk that maybe they'd bring Dante Rosario into the game and let him sort of try to get the 49ers in their base defense and then throw out of that.
Haven't seen much of that. From the 45, Cutler hangs in the pocket, throws caught. Marshall, and Marshall wants a penalty for a hit to the helmet as he takes it to the 41-yard line. 1st down.
Gorgeous by Brandon Marshall here. Watch this little move to the outside and then back to the post, and he really got Jimmy Ward to bite on that. So it's not now a speed game for the Bears. It's more of a physical presence and savvy plays being made by these wideouts.
Good deep drop. Cutler fires, and that is caught, and that's Santonio Holmes to the 25-yard line for a 1st down.
Well, this is about the protection that Jay Cutler is getting right now. The one thing that Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator, was worried about the game last week was a lack of a pass rush, despite the fact they got 3.
Chicago going no huddle here. Martellus Bennett to the 21-yard line.
Starting to bring some pressure now, which is not typical for the 49ers. That time they brought Patrick Willis on the blitz, and unfortunately, there goes Charles Tillman.
Tricep. Yes, you did. 2nd down and 5 from the 21. Cutler. And that'll move the chains, and there he goes to Rosario, and there's a penalty. Michelle Tafoya. It's a 1st and 15 for the Chicago Bears at the 17-yard line. And the 4th period will begin with a little flip to Forte, and Forte is inside the 10 and takes the ball to the 6-yard line. De La Puente and Ola, the two guys subbing here, helping to lead the convoy.
Sure was right there. You've got Brian De La Puente, nobody over him, so he gets out immediately and does a nice job out there. I think that was against Michael Wilhoit. Wilhoit saw it. He just couldn't get there because of Brian De La Puente.
Picked up 11 on the 1st and 15, 2nd down and 4 from the 6. Bears trying to turn this into a 1-possession game. Forte. And he can only get to the 5-yard line, and upcoming will be a very big 3rd and 3. Bethea making the tackle here.
There's nothing better than having a safety. They can also substitute as a linebacker, but they basically play in the middle linebacker position in that defense and stoned them. Boy, interesting call here. Are you in 4-down territory at this point? If you are, this play call might be a little different. You might try to run it again.
Marshall left, Jeffrey to the right. Holmes also on the left. Cutler looks that way. Cutler throws that way, and it's caught. Brandon Marshall for his 2nd touchdown. They had Marshall and Holmes stacked on the left side, and then Marshall is able to get into the end zone to turn it in to a 1-possession game.
This is just about body position. Go down, get to the goal line, box out like you're getting a rebound, and then throw it hard. Brandon Marshall is just a big, strong guy. Jay Cutler never looked anywhere else. He knew exactly what he was going to do on that one. And why not? Little praise. He's done some good stuff on a bad leg tonight. So is that
at Levi's Stadium. And Kyle Long, of course, Kaepernick and Wilson would be the least throwingest. The teams do pretty well, by the way. And the pass is picked off. It's Kyle Fuller who takes the ball to the 6-yard line. So the rookie out of Virginia Tech, pick number 1 in the draft, just takes the ball away from Michael Crabtree. And the Chicago Bears are 6 yards away from taking the lead with the extra point.
Well, so much for picking on the rookie. Here's Fuller out here against Crabtree. He's reading the quarterback all the way, comes up, tries to bat it down, and it ends up in his arms. And so this defense, so much maligned a week ago, now is making plays and giving the Chicago Bears a chance to win this thing.
Meanwhile, you got Sheffers in another conference here.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 7 of the passing team. For inappropriate language, half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
So Kaepernick cost them about 3 yards, making it a 1st and goal now from the 3-yard line to take the lead.
They just have not been able to run the ball at all tonight, though, with Matt Forte. That has been the story.
10 carries, 11 yards for him. Cutler, touchdown, Martellus Bennett. And just like that, Chicago an extra point away from going in front. Eric Reed was covering on the play. Bennett, the tight end, hauls it in.
Eric Reed's a Pro Bowler in just his 2nd year, but Martellus Bennett, he is big, he is quick, and this is too easy. So in a game in which Jay Cutler told us last night, we're going to run the ball, we're going to stay with it, we don't care how ugly it is, we're just going to run.
So the 49ers now at the 23-yard line. They had a long drive open the 3rd quarter, 9 minutes, but resulted in only a field goal. And Gore picks up the 3 before he's knocked down. Let's go to Michelle.
Well, a couple of those defensive stars for the Bears have been dimmed tonight. Defensive tackle Jeremiah Ratliff went to the locker room. He's receiving concussion protocol. And safety Chris Connie, we told you about him in the first half with a shoulder injury. He has been downgraded to out. He's on the sidelines in street clothes, Al.
And of course, we've seen Tillman. There he is. Thank you, Michelle. And Mel Tucker, the defensive coordinator, missing key parts. Will Sutton, rookie, is replacing Ratliff right now, rookie out of Arizona State. He's number 93 as Kaepernick retreats under pressure, gets it away, and he winds up hitting Derek Carrier, the tight end, for his second catch of the night. Tackle there by Briggs. It'll be 3rd and 1.
Briggs now on back-to-back plays. He stopped the run on the first one, and then he's going to get out of here and make the play here on this bootleg. So he is much more on his toes. They said he was flying around in practice. I'm sure a little embarrassed with all the attention he got. And now for the Bears defensively, they are looking at a big 3rd down.
3rd down and 2 from the 31-yard line. Kaepernick to the outside. He's got the first down. That's Stevie Johnson, longtime Buffalo Bill, 6 years there. Came over in a trade. First down, San Francisco.
Yeah, and I think Stevie Johnson's going to become a bigger and bigger part of this offense. He had 3 straight years with the Bills, over 1,000 yards, a little fall off last season, but people talk about it. He has a funny way of running routes, and it took Colin Kaepernick a long time to kind of figure it out too, but they say even top end defensive backs haven't quite figured him out either, so I think he's going to be bigger and bigger here.
And the Buffalo letting him go. Of course, they picked Sammy Watkins early in the draft and hope he'll be their main guy for years. Kaepernick, protection breaks down, and he goes down at the 32-yard line. Shane McClellan finished him off.
Well, it's interesting. Kaepernick saw McClellan come up in the gap, and he's standing right there. He goes to the audible and does a little sprint away just to give himself a little room, but then nobody's open, and McClellan and Jared Allen come right back in there and make the sack. Different speed this week for Jared Allen.
2nd down, 14. Kaepernick over the middle, catch is made at the 40, and Davis got bent back. Bostic making the tackle. He's about 7 yards shy of the first. 3rd down up. Chicago with 58. That's just the accepted penalties. 3rd and 12. Kaepernick throwing against the grain, and it's picked over the 40-yard line by Kyle Fuller. He has 2 in his 2nd game in the NFL. And the rookie from Virginia Tech does it again on back-to-back drives.
Just a fantastic play by a young player. This wasn't even his guy. Falls back underneath and makes another huge interception.
3 interceptions and a fumble for Kaepernick tonight. They start with a flip to Forte. And he'll get banged down by Willis at the 38, and back will go to Fuller's 2nd pick.
Well, Vernon Davis had to go out for a play, and that meant Derek Carrier, who's supposed to just stay vertical here, but when he sees Kaepernick scramble, he goes with him, and that's what's going to allow Kyle Fuller to fold back underneath that. Nice job by Fuller, had his guy under control, sees the scramble, comes back underneath. That is a veteran play. That's one you see Charles Tillman make.
And he's going to have to probably fill that role the way things look right now with Tillman's tricep injury. And that pass is caught by Jeffrey, who got position on Culliver, came back, made the grab, and down the field they go. And that's a gain of 29 to the 8-yard line and a 1st and goal.
It's been the biggest difference with what they've been doing. Now they're using these receivers, and they're using their big bodies. They're going back shoulders. They're allowing them some jump balls. So you don't have to always outrun people in order to win. Jay Cutler has made the switch now in the 2nd half, and it's looked great.
First and goal from the 8. Forte, room inside, gets half the distance, takes it to the 4-yard line. Reed makes the tackle. Halfway through the fourth quarter, it'll be second down and goal.
Well, I tell you, it's no fun trying to trap block Alex Smith or Justin Smith. The time Kyle Long came across there and got a snootful.
Cutler, short drop to the end zone, caught. Brandon Marshall. 3 tonight for Brandon Marshall, a guy who was a game-time decision, who barely practiced this week. Came out with an ankle injury in the game last Sunday in Chicago. 3 touchdowns for Marshall.
The hardest route to cover is a fade from the slot position because you have so much room to work. Then you throw back shoulder off of that. This has been a gutsy affair by the Chicago Bears tonight, and it really all started when Jay Cutler got hit in the chest. I think they were down 17-0, and since then been basically unstoppable. A lot of turn to put something together, and Kaepernick has to shrug this off. You can't be shy as a quarterback in this situation. You have to go play and go win the game.
From the 20, Kaepernick, he's going to get sacked. A 6-yard sack. That's Willie Young coming in to take him down. Second down and 16.
It's the first time they've really gotten after Jonathan Martin here. Top of the screen right there. He's going to go inside. And Jonathan Martin gets beat quickly as a tackle. That's what you can't have happen, especially with a mobile quarterback like Kaepernick. If he goes around you, he still has a chance, but can't give up that inside.
Vernon Davis is not back in. Remember, he got hurt just before the interception on the last drive. You got Carrier in there as the other tight end. You got Kaepernick now throwing and gunning it, and that's caught for a gain of 13 to Anquan Bolden. It'll be 3rd and 3, and here's Michelle.
Well, Chris, you said football isn't always fun. It just got less fun for Jeremiah Ratliff. We told you he went to the locker room for concussion protocol. He is now out with a concussion, guys.
All right, thank you, Michelle. So you got Tillman out, you got Conti out, you got Ratliff out, and yet that defense has really done yeoman work here in the second half. Will Sutton, a rookie, Kyle Fuller, a rookie, making their presence felt. 3rd down and 3.
Nice to have mobile quarterbacks in this situation.
Ooh, and Kaepernick just does avoid a sack and a second one, and he'll seek the first down. Speaking of mobile quarterbacks, there he goes. Got away from Vereen, got away from Allen, and picks up a first down, a gain of 14.
Boy, Brock Vereen had a clean shot, just couldn't do anything about it. Mobile quarterback, sometimes you have great plans. The defense won there. That should have been a sack. But the athleticism of Colin Kaepernick is keeping them in this game. Jared Allen just couldn't catch him.
Carlos Hyde comes in the backfield now on first down from the 42. And they give it to the rookie. To the 45-yard line. He goes for a gain of 3. Under 5 minutes to play in regulation.
I would say about 75% of the plays, or at least it felt like it, that Carlos Hyde went in a week ago, they did that read option. He is very good at it. He's, I assume, did it at Ohio State. And so now you have the situation where, yeah, you want to give them a little different look, but that read option has given the Bears fits now over the past couple of weeks.
Jed York, the major domo over the 49ers. Watched his team sprint out to a 17-0 lead, and now they got to come from behind as Kaepernick dances around in the pocket. Buys time, still more, flag thrown, catch made. For the moment, Crabtree would have picked up the first down, and we'll get
staying focused down the field here. There are some opportunities.
The ground. Gore, a They smother him after a gain of 3. Bostic, the first guy to reach him. Clock down under 4 minutes now.
Yeah, Jared Allen and Lance Briggs once again. Jared Allen in, Briggs around. That's the way they've been playing it for the most part. Nice job that time. Briggs went through the back door and then was able to catch it from the other way. Those two veteran players, though, big uptick.
So Harbaugh, he wanted to pick up the pace, but they huddled. Play clock is into single digits right now on 2nd down and 8 from the 43-yard line. Kaepernick pump fakes, then he gets sacked by Willie Young. Well, that was the major thing that Chicago wanted to do. Get pressure up front, bringing Young and Houston and Jared Allen. What a difference that's made tonight.
Well, Willie Young now is just taking advantage. Anytime you have a backup in the game, and that's what Jonathan Martin is. No Anthony Davis over there, and right now Willie Young is doing what he is fully capable of doing, and that's being a nightmare as a pass rusher. So quick.
Second sack tonight, 3rd and 13. Kaepernick in trouble again. Gets out of trouble. Stays on his feet. Gets to the 41-yard line. Tripped up there by Fuller, but he is 6 yards. Is a huge 4th and 6. After San Francisco took a timeout, Carlos Hyde is in the backfield. And the 49ers maybe just trying to draw Chicago offside, but nope, they're going to run the play. And Kaepernick's going to slide out, throw, pick up the first down. Crabtree out of bounds at the 32-yard line. That takes us to the 2-minute. Tell you what else is going on in the league. We'll look ahead to next Sunday's matchup. Pittsburgh at Carolina. 1st and 10 now. Kaepernick over the middle. That is caught. That is Derek Carrier, the tight end, filling in for the injured Vernon Davis. Takes it to the 17-yard line.
Hey, a pretty nice looking move that time by Carrier. He got down the field, gave him a little shuffle step, broke back inside. Kind of unusual when a quarterback looks at a young player in that situation.
Now they're going to give it to, well, Kaepernick's going to keep it himself. Good ball handling there as Hyde went through the middle. Kaepernick keeps it. And it's a loss of 1.
Yeah, I think if Kaepernick had that one to do over again, he's looking at the big screen, he would have handed that ball off. I think he had a pretty good look here going right up the gut. Who was that, Carlos Hyde? Carlos Hyde, by the way, on that previous play.
On the other bench. 2nd down and 12 now from the 20-yard line. Great protection. Kaepernick to the end zone, and the pass is incomplete. Stevie Johnson going across the end zone. 3rd down and 12.
One of the things the 49ers are doing now is they're putting a tight end over to Jonathan Martin's side.
Yards. Now it's 3rd and 17. Have to get to the 8 to move the chains. Rush 4 over the middle. Gore, he'll take it to the 17. Lance Briggs making the tackle. It's 4th and 9. Chicago can run the clock out if the Niners don't convert. Stevie Johnson, bottom of the screen. Crabtree and Bolden on the top. And over the middle. And it is incomplete. Crabtree reaching for it. Couldn't hold on. Jennings there covering on the play. And the Chicago Bears are going to spoil opening night for the San Francisco 49ers.
I think he might have had it, but he faded the route at the very end. If he squares this off, let's see if he kind of fades away from the ball. Yeah, he did. And I think if he had just kept Cummings in a straight line across the field, he was just trying to ad-lib a little bit, and it probably cost him a completion there.
Well, I know this is early in the season, and there's a long way to go, and it's the middle of September, but the Chicago Bears were upset last week. Beginning tonight, they play 6 of 8 on the road. So they're away from home except for 2 games between now and November. They were down by 17. They go on the road, and this is a squander an opportunity to go one up on Seattle because they lost to San Diego 140-1 on the road after trailing by 16. The last time the Bears won a game in this circumstance, trailing by more than 16, is when Dennis Green said they were who we thought they were.
But for the Chicago Bears and Mark Trestman, feels a little different right now than it did last week. To come in here, nobody thought they were going to lose to Buffalo, and I don't know too many people thought they were going to come in here and win tonight with all their injuries. This was huge, and now they are tied with everybody else in their division for first place.
Well, what a turn of events. 28-20, the Bears win it. Coming up next, the Volkswagen post-game report. But first, these messages from your local NBC station.